In a sport where flash often fades and hype gets humbled, Shakur Stevenson has done the unthinkable. He stayed undefeated while letting his fists and finesse do the talking. Hailed as the next Floyd Mayweather by some and dismissed as too cautious by others, Stevenson has carved out his own lane. With 3 world championships across 3 weight classes and a net worth now estimated at around $6 million, he's not just building a career, he's crafting a legacy. But it wasn't handed to him. Raised in the rough streets of Newark, New Jersey, Shakur's story is one of grit, growth, and generational talent. In 2025, at just 28 years old, he's not only boxing's reigning WBC Lightweight Champion, but also a growing cultural icon who headlines arenas, lives in luxury, and fights with surgical precision. Early life. Shakur Nafi Shahid Stevenson was born on June 28, 1997 in Newark, New Jersey, USA. Shakur's journey began far from the glitz of Madison Square Garden. Born to Malika Stevenson, a dedicated mother of 10, and Alfredo Rivera, who was mostly absent from his life, Shakur was the oldest of 9 younger siblings. After Rivera passed away in 2019, Shakur paid public tribute to a father he barely knew, showing his emotional depth and maturity. His early years were shaped by his grandfather and boxing coach, Waleem Moses, who introduced him to boxing at just 5 years old. What started in newer gyms quickly escalated into national titles. By the age of 16, Stevenson had already made waves on the amateur scene. His fluid, technical style caught attention early, and he knew it. "I've been great," he once told ESPN. "Y'all just catching up." Shakur didn't attend college. The ring was his university, and his textbooks were filled with footwork drills, pad work, and sparring sessions. He represented the United States at the 2016 Olympics in Rio, bringing home the silver medal in the bantamweight division. He was the highest medaling male U.S. boxer at the Games, solidifying his status as America's next big hope in the post-Mayweather era. Personal life. Behind the gloves, Shakur Stevenson is a family man and a rising entrepreneur. He is in a long-term relationship with rapper and influencer young Lyric Ragsdon. The couple welcomed their daughter in December 2021, and Stevenson proposed to her after winning a title unification fight in 2022, live in the ring, under the bright lights and roaring crowd. The clip went viral. Despite the fame, he's known for keeping his private life low-key, often sharing just enough to tease fans while protecting his family's peace. Religion and values. While not outspoken about religion, Shakur carries himself with a quiet discipline rooted in family, loyalty, and ambition. His middle names, Nafi Shahid, reflect Islamic heritage, though he keeps spiritual beliefs largely private. Other ventures. Stevenson has dipped his toes into music collaborations, fashion partnerships, and boxing promotions under his brand, hinting at a life beyond the ropes. He's also a role model in Newark, donating gear to gyms and mentoring at-risk youth. Professional career. Featherweight, 2017 to 2019. Pro debut. April 2017, Stevenson defeated Edgar Brito with surgical sharpness. Racked up a perfect early record, dismantling foes like David Michel Paz and Elio Mesquita. In October 2019, he captured the WBO featherweight title by outclassing Joe Gonzalez. At just 22, Shakur became Newark's first world champion since the legendary Tony Tucker. Super featherweight, 2020 to 2022, moved up in 2020 and outboxed Felix Caraballo. October 2021, stopped Jamal Herring to win the WBO super featherweight title. April 2022, unification bout with Oscar Valdez. Stevenson dominated, adding the WBC and the ring titles to his collection in a star-making performance. That night ended with a championship and a proposal. Yes, he won both belts and his fiancée in one go. Lightweight Domination, 2023 to 2025. Debuted at lightweight in April 2023, TKOing Shuichiro Yoshino. November 2023. Won the WBC Lightweight title by defeating Edwin de Los Santos in a surprisingly defensive fight that critics labeled underwhelming. July 2024. Outboxed Artem Harat Union in Newark, retaining his WBC title before a hometown crowd. February 2025, defended his belt with a 9th-round TKO over Josh Padley in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia during Riyadh season. July 12, 2025, defeated William Zepeda at MSG in a technical masterclass. Shakur's record improved to 24 wins, 0 losses, 11 KOs. A bold business move. In late 2024, Stevenson made headlines when he rejected a $15 million deal from Top Rank and instead signed with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, betting on himself and global stardom. This decision opened doors to Riyadh mega fights, DAZN pay-per-views, and potential future matchups with Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, or even a super fight with Teofimo Lopez. House tour and car collection. While Stevenson keeps much of his personal wealth out of the spotlight, sources suggest he divides time between Newark, Houston, and a luxury apartment in Las Vegas. His car collection reportedly includes matte black Lamborghini Urus, custom Dodge Hellcat, Mercedes-Benz S-Class Coupe, and a rumored Rolls-Royce Cullinan, though he's never flaunted it publicly. He often shares glimpses of his modern, minimalist home interior, gym setups, and training spaces, but doesn't flash the extravagant lifestyle like some fighters. His motto, "Let my hands talk." Unlike other sports figures, Shakur didn't pursue college. His academic journey ended early as he put everything into boxing. Instead, he graduated from the University of the Sweet Science, gaining real-world knowledge in gyms, rings, and Olympic arenas. In 2018, Stevenson was involved in a South Beach scuffle and faced a misdemeanor battery charge. He accepted a plea deal, completed community service, and publicly apologized. The incident became a turning point. Since then, he's kept a clean image, focusing solely on his daughter, his career, and his future. As of today, Shakur Stevenson is alive, healthy, and still champion. There is no cause of death, only cause for celebration as one of boxing's brightest stars continues his reign. Shakur Stevenson isn't just a fighter. He's a strategist, a father, a businessman, and a born winner. In an era full of hype men and highlight reels, Shakur wins by mastering the basics: balance, timing, and laser-sharp focus. Whether he's headlining Madison Square Garden or walking through Newark in silence, there's one thing you can't deny. Stevenson is a generational talent whose story is still being written. And if you ask him, the best is yet to come.